If freedom is to survive and prosper, it will require the sacrifice, the effort and the thoughtful attention of every citizen. The stories of past courage can teach, they can offer hope, they can provide inspiration. But they cannot supply courage itself. For this each man must look into his own soul. A man does what he must, in spite of personal consequences, in spite of obstacles and dangers and pressures, and that is the basis of all human morality. Let us not emphasize all on which we differ but all we have in common. Let us consider not what we fear separately but what we share together. United there is little we cannot do in a host of cooperative ventures. Divided there is little we can do, for we dare not meet a powerful challenge at odds and split asunder. My fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. I have said that control of arms is a mission that we undertake particularly for our children and our grandchildren and that they have no lobby in Washington. If more politicians knew poetry, and more poets knew politics, I am convinced the world would be a little better place in which to live. For one true measure of a nation is its success in fulfilling the promise of a better life for each of its members. Let this be the measure of our nation. The success of this government, and thus the success of our nation, depends in the last analysis upon the quality of our career services. War will exist until that distant day when the conscientious objector enjoys the same reputation and prestige that the warrior does today. We can say with some assurance that, although children may be the victims of fate, they will not be the victims of our neglect. The life of the arts, far from being an interruption, a distraction, in the life of a nation, is very close to the center of a nation's purpose, and is a test of the quality of a nation's civilization. Let us not despair but act. Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past, let us accept our own responsibility for the future. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Peace is a daily, a weekly, a monthly process, gradually changing opinions, slowly eroding old barriers, quietly building new structures. And however undramatic the pursuit of peace, that pursuit must go on. So, let us not be blind to our differences but let us also direct attention to our common interests and to the means by which those differences can be resolved. When power leads man toward arrogance, poetry reminds him of his limitations. When power narrows the area of man's concern, poetry reminds him of the richness and diversity of existence. When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. A wise man will never tell a woman two things, his true feelings and his balance account. I look forward to a future in which our country will match its military strength with our moral restraint, its wealth with our wisdom, its power with our purpose.